All right. Let's go ahead and get started because Rao's got a doctor's appointment that he has to go to. So Tomislav has graciously stepped in to do the technical update. And since it's late for Tomislav, I want to go ahead and let him run the technical debrief so we can release him as early as possible.
So I'm changing Rao today, and I want to share my screen. On the mainnet, we still are running 25/7. We have something on the dev branch that maybe will part of together with the last Finalized State, or maybe we will publish another version. The problem is some performance issue with performance on the one API call when for finalized block. So we are still not completely sure how we'll fix that, but this is something that we are working on. For last Finalized State, now we published 26 release candidate, which will basically be the problem with the final release. Maybe some changes in the logs or something like that, but this is the final release. I'm writing documentations and specification to finish specification, and this will be like released very, very soon. We are now pushing this on testnet, and basically we just want to be sure that all tests are okay. For the next sprint, we are basically now focused on the block merge, and NetZipper and Will are continuing work on the block merge, and Will is mostly on the side of detecting conflicts, and NetZipper on the side to merge or apply changes to the state. We basically have all the things that are necessary, and now we see that performance is not what we are expecting at the end. So we are most of our thinking now is how to improve applying changes. And with end of work with the last Finalized State, I will also be more included in the work for block merge. Regarding dependencies, we now have all of the major libraries that we are using are now on the latest version. So some of the stuff is not updated yet, but it's not really important right now. So in the future, we want to be ready to move to new Scala version. Joe is working on the rolling 1.1, and he has progress in changes to the LED syntax, and this will be soon on the specialized feature branch for that. So for last Finalized State, I also want to mention that we will provide more information why last Finalized State is important, and this will be like very visible. For example, for Rafael and the DAPI, where or anyone who is creating applications on RChain, because basically you want to have your node running your node to get data as fast as possible. So you are not depending on some other node somewhere else. You can easily start your own node and very quickly get the data and be sure that you have it on your local network, for example. I want to share just quickly results from the last testing. What I show in the last week was not. I didn't say like everything completely correct. So I said 2.5 hours for this machine, and I want to just correct that I was looking at the logs when one node was down, and this was not completely correct. So I was able to also add additional optimizations. So I didn't say like too wrong of what is like correct. So with 32 CPUs machine, the complete sync is 2 hours and 10 minutes. So like this is very fast for new nodes to start up. And I think this is everything that I want to say. Is there any question?
I just, first of all, thank you very much. I appreciate you stepping in like that to take over when Ra was away. That's great. I think there are actually a few points that bear mentioning. With respect to the block merge, one of the things that's really interesting is that now NutZipper has got a testing environment where he can zero in on exactly where the applying of changes, where the cost is on applying changes, which will allow us to figure out exactly what the what performance blockers are. So I think we're this means that we're very far along, right? That means that the code is far enough along that we're actually start looking at testing and optimization, right? Which is very, very good news, right? I mean, like literally on the day that we are releasing last finalized state out to testnet, we're already in testing and optimization of block merge, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
I think that's, like really, really good news. The other thing is that with respect to Joe's work, so Joe actually has the let syntax evaluating. So he's now writing tests for the evaluation. And so that people understand how that feature development will work. We're doing first a conservative implementation where Joe translates the new syntax into the old syntax. So that's what's going on. However, the point of the new syntax is to enable us to do some optimizations. So there are many, many communications in Rolang that do not have to hit the tuple space. And with and every time you hit the tuple space, eventually you're going out to disk and you're recording that as a transaction. But many of those operations do not have to hit the tuple space at all. They can remain entirely in memory and do not have to be recorded as transactions. Because we know, for example, that there's exactly one channel between a send and a receive, and it's only for the purpose of communicating a value to a variable. Operations like that. And as a result, those operations can be optimized away. They don't have to hit the tuple space, which will dramatically improve the execution time of Rolang and the overall throughput for smart contracts. So it will also compactify the syntax. So lots and lots of nesting, which people currently experience in Rolang, will simply flatten out, which will be, I think, a welcome change for people who are programming in Rolang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Okay, any other questions for Tomislav or about this week's tech update? Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Tomislav. You're free to stick around for the rest of the debrief, or if you need to jump off, that's fine as well.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so moving on, yesterday was the last official board meeting of the RChain Cooperative Board for the year 2020. One of the things that we did was to clarify membership status active versus inactive, and sort of what happens to membership applications that never complete the identity verification procedure. These things are very important to us, and they are important as we're considering an application related to the verification of a COVID testing identity. So we need to be able to demonstrate that we're serious, that we take identity seriously. So to that end, one of the things that we've done is to clarify in the bylaws, that we have that the petitions require 10% of active membership, not just membership. So that means it's much easier to get petitions before the board. So that's an improvement, and so it makes it much easier. It basically, makes gives the membership, considerably stronger voice with respect to getting things in front of the board. And the other thing that we're clarifying is that there's a time limit being set for identity verification. So since we put the automated identity verification procedures in place in November of 2018, I think that's correct, we hadn't set a time limit. So now we're setting the time limit to 6 months. We're going to give a grace period to those people who are still in that kind of limbo state where they have paid the membership fees, but have not completed their identity verification process. And we're going to give them until the 15th of January to go ahead and complete that process, or their application, their membership application will be considered, no longer in process. And as a result, they can always reapply, but the membership fee is non-refundable and will be treated as if it were a donation to the co-op. Any questions or comments about those changes? All right, Ian, any other salient points from the board meeting that you think we ought to mention?
No, I think you covered it.
All right. I know that the previous minutes were approved. So the minutes are on GitHub, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but yesterday's board meeting, the draft minutes are not up on GitHub yet.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. We are proceeding apace with the digital accreditation wallet. There's a repo in the RChain community. There's a meeting for clarifications on that scheduled on today at 12 noon. And we are in conversation with several well-respected officials, medical officials in the UK, who are interested and excited about this development. I can give more details in the closed door session, so people should join that if they want to hear more about what we're doing and what the plans are. In addition, we are scheduling a workshop with many notable European universities. So last I looked, I think we had agreement to participate from the team in Lisbon, Glasgow, Imperial, Edinburgh, and a few others. So these are universities which are well known for their contributions to process algebras and the theory of computer science. And they are quite interested in the applications of process algebras to blockchain. So we'll be running that workshop, and I think it'll be quite good to attract a student interest in working with RChain. Any questions about that? Very good. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? All right, silence is golden. Thanks to everyone. I hope everyone stays safe, especially during this third wave of COVID pandemic, and looking forward to seeing many of you on Friday.
Do we have a wrap up of the week?
Oh, sorry, you're right. The community in review. Daryl, you want to give that?
Sure. Hey, everybody. So here's the Community Week in Review for the 26th of November till today, the 2nd of December. It's a little lean due to the Thanksgiving U.S. holiday. So on Thursday, there was no governance committee meeting for that reason. On Friday, the climate coordination call, we discussed the tsunami risk in Alaska, the need for a National Institute of Health on climate, John Kerry's new position in the Biden cabinet as climate czar, and Steve invited us to look at a new global map of bees. And we spoke about Jaron Lanier and the social dilemma and hacking surveillance capitalism. On Monday, the Casper stand-up call. This week's Casper stand-up covered a novel model of Spencer Brown's laws of form. On Tuesday, the RChain education meeting, RChain developer set up on Windows 10 using WSL2 and VS Code, plus discussion of RChain identity and payment solutions. Also yesterday in the communications working group call, there was none because my battery died on my car and I had to get my daughter off to school. So I had to cancel that one. And then today at the RChain active member hangout, an hour ago, Kit Blake showed up and gave a review of what he's been doing with the UN and climate change data on IPFS. Jim talked about the potential for having a system with the logic and IPFS hash on RChain and the data on IPFS. Jim talked of the call that he had just finished regarding cooperation among cooperatives with Digital Life Collective and Open.coop. And that brings us to right now.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah, the laws of form stuff is a lot of fun. Any questions for Daryl? Okay, then. Everyone have a good rest of your week, and we'll see many of you on Friday. Ciao for now.
Bye, everybody.